Okay guys, it's sunny. Today's May 22nd. It's 2025 and yep, it's a dragon. Pin drop on the nose there. Sure enough, guys. You know, we can tell the individual creatures down here by their coloration oftentimes. They degrade differently, they'll grow different types of flora on them and so on. It's a pretty fascinating thing, but as big as our friend here is, you better send him as much love as you can. You don't want to pour gas on him, so to speak, but he's not the biggest thing in here. And so, you know, with that sense of scale really comes into focus if we bring it back here, guys, because, you know, let's think about it real quick. If this is real, this is an actual representation of, you know, the physical reality, and, you know, all similatory aspects aside, we can touch it, we can taste it. It's, you know, an impact for us. And, you know, people say, well, it's just electrical impulses and yada yada yada. I mean, that's true to a point, but, you know, when you begin to negate the consciousness of others, it becomes kind of like a war, even if you didn't mean for it to. That struggle is going to be there, and it's not you know, an equal type of thing there. But several things in the area here, and I just wanted to get this done quickly. I mean, there's so much. We could spend days, and we could spend a long time looking at this, guys. But it's fascinating. If you're not, you know, to the place yet where you can see this stuff and believe it, hey, I completely understand. You know, this stuff is written. It's ancient. Look at this guy. You can see how it's all that one color again. See that? I'm going to drop a pin right there on the head. See that jaw and the eyes? Almost looks like the tongue's hanging out. You better believe it, guys. Okay? 100%. And so a lot of that red down there is actually the blood. That's what makes red rocks red. True. We can read the residual DNA today, and it's still so powerful. It'll have an effect on the environment in just myriad ways. It's so much. But, you know, if we back out here a little bit more, the biggest are always underneath, guys, and, you know, a lot of times they'll accentuate that growth, and there's a lot to what we're seeing. Actually, Lily Nova did a good job just now explaining kind of the multidimensional aspect and how there's so many different beings in the kind of place at one time. And it's like that biologically too, and the multidimensional nature of DNA and the holographic storage medium that it is, and the way that plays out for us is what really has such an impact on our experiential reality. And it's a fascinating thing, but it's also something that is in flux. And I think it's important to remember that, and it's tied into the network. You know, what people think of as this matrix and this grid has a lot to do with the genetic expression in the network from these beings that are here. Okay, it's not about waiting. All that's confusion, and so many of them have that type of look. Many of them will look like grays. Of course, not all. If you're looking at what's in front of you right here, you know, nature doesn't make this shape other than through a biological function. Let's look at the cranium right here. What in the hell is that? Why does it go down like that? And so there's all types of things in here, from insectoid, I'll drop pins on the head, humanoid, and others, reptilian, so on. Okay? So, you know, it's nothing to be afraid about, but we're stronger together when we understand this, and healing can be facilitated much more if we're on the same page about this, because this factor is the predominant factor in our environment to a tune that is so big you can bear, you know, it's almost incomprehensible to you that could actually be, you know, a cranium right there. Okay? It just doesn't make sense to you yet. Perhaps it does. Either way, this is not a video game. Okay? That's something that you can go and touch, and that was a conscious being that still has a genetic expression that's so strong. It's a biosignature. It will influence the living flora and fauna in it, and it molds it into what it looks like to us from this aerial perspective. And so I've gone longer than I wanted to here. There's a lot that I can do with this video, as far as, you know, putting, you know, this is nothing but the remnants, guys, all the way up there. All that stuff that's darker, those are bodies under there, and that's how you know. That's the prime way to categorize. It's either going to be the inverse pattern of you know, growth characteristics, like you'll see with this guy. You know, see how nothing's really growing there like it is here? Different species, different types, different methods of death, whatever. And to talk amongst some right now is this flash coming. Guys, I want you to read that Cosmic Revenge file, because this processes was a flash. And so there's different ways that this can take shape, and there's so much energy that has to go behind this type of flash. They've recently just discovered a new form of, not a quark, but something similar to it that had so much energy, but it was a neutrino that had so much energy into it. It was 30,000 times more powerful than, you know, what they can do at the Large Hadron Collider there at CERN. So keep that in mind. And I know that's a lot, guys. Just think about it in terms of, hey, this is space. Earth is a relatively small planet, and you know, if there's DNA is a fractal antenna in electromagnetic fields, guys. This means a lot of things, and it's expressed multidimensionally. But in the biological sense, it means if there's no marker there to turn it off, it's going to keep growing. And so this has everything to do with frequency response systems, the way that we correlate with them as well. Just as we do with our star is such an important issue for us right now. And this is something I haven't lost sight of this, but I think people have lost sight of the fact that this was something that I have always kind of had as my one of my foundational components to my foundations itself. So I want to reiterate that for people and let them know that, hey, you know, the correlatives between our consciousness and the collective and individually with our star and beyond are a very real and tangible thing, and this is what expresses itself through our reality. And if we're in a place collectively that we don't need to be, you know, I mean, the wheat will be separated from the chaff and so on, but man, don't you want to bring as many people as you can with you? And you know, I'm living in a life right now that's so hard, I can't tell the truth. I mean, I tried my best to tell the truth, but people don't listen. I've offered everything, and my whole, you know, it's not a sob story I've got. It's unreal to think that we can come this far, and you know, the things that, you know, some of us have presented are just such you know, an awakening body of material, and so, you know, we need to realize where we are. Why do we have this today, and what can we do with it? And so the interface point between, you know, fiber optics and the chakra system in the body is a real tangible thing that allows us to have an effect in the environment through that process. And if we're not aware of it, guys, guess what? You know, that energy's going somewhere, even if you don't realize it. Every time you're online, every time. So, you know, I need to take a step back a little bit. I've gotten really angry because I've fought so hard. You know, I'm in the trenches out here still, and I've, you know, by choice, really. But I don't know if anybody else could do what I'm doing right here, right now, and that's okay. I'm not, you know, it's just, it's that transitionary period and coming out of that and reintegrating into other things as we all progress forward that I'm, you know, not apprehensive about. I'm really kind of excited about it, but I don't want to have any trepidation at all. Like I've done my best to go out of, well, maybe I haven't done my best. Let me retract that. I'm trying to do my best now more, and I want people to try to understand me, give me their best, because you know, that's one of the first stone tools right there, by the way, guys. If you're starting to see that big, that's what if he's sitting behind his eye, you can see these perforation marks on the chest right there. You see them? Ding, 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 ding. That's what that is. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's sitting behind his ear. That's like a hostage situation. This guy's got him by a knife point. Look at him. That's what that is. That's the continental divide. These are nothing but giants, dude. Nothing but. That's all it is. Deposits left from the flood. Anyway, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's like, oh my God, what a realization. What a realization. And that's where close to where a lot of us live. But, you know, guys, I've had, you know, I get angry, and it causes me trouble, and I apologize to you. I want you to try to understand what it's been like for me, and I try to do that for y'all too. And when I put so much time into an individual or a group, it's usually because I think that they have the potential or something along those lines to where, you know, I've recognized it and felt it already, and I intuited it enough to say, hey, you know, I don't care what it looks like to you right now. It'll make more sense to you in the future, and that's where we're headed anyway. So let's tackle that deal together, no matter who we are. You know, water under the bridge is fine, but these people, you know, don't try to fuck me again, because there's people out there that have tried to fuck me, and there's some liars out there. There's some people out there that are, you know, not good folk really when they're under the influence of you know, we'll call them demons, but call them whatever you want. This is the essence of what is bound to these bones in the Book of Enoch and other ancient writings and manuscripts, and this is what we have to understand as it relates to the network,
how it interacts with us, even the hardware of the system. And so, guys, I have all of these documents, so many pieces of this puzzle, and I'd love to talk about it with anybody who is, even if you're not here yet, I'd love to help explain it. We can figure things out together, but I'd also, I like to be able to be interactive and learn new things myself, and so I'm always open to that. But love you guys. I hope that this makes sense, and I'm not crazy, guys. This is where you live, and so there is an element of manifestive quality in the network, but there's that's a two-way street, and so negating these guys is not what you can do. It's not up to you. Their DNA is down there, okay, just like yours would be. So think about that and understand that this is the essence of paranormal activity on Earth, dude. Pretty much. I mean, there's other factors from ourselves, but this is a major contributing factor, and this is known within defense and intelligence circles, I can assure you, because that's where I first learned it. So, okay, love you. I'll talk to you later.